Shalom Uvracha. This week we end Sefer Bamidbar. Sefer Bamidbar is the end of the Torah. Not exactly, but it's the end of the Torah except for Devarim, which is Mishnah Torah, Deuteronomy. It's again in the words of Moshe Rabbeinu. But the end of the main part of the Torah is here in the book of Bamidbar. And I think that there's a very contemporary, very, very relevant message that we need to take from Sefer Bamidbar. What is Sefer Bamidbar all about? There are many downfalls and also many good things in Sefer Bamidbar. But what's the theme? Sefer Bamidbar is about the downfall of the Jewish people in Chet HaMeraglim, in the sin of the spies, and the rectification of that sin that readies us at the end of Bamidbar to enter the land. What is Chet HaMeraglim about? Says Moshe Rabbeinu, "Ubadavar hazeh enchem ma'aminim be'Hashem Elokeichem." We don't trust Hashem. That lack of trust results in a lack of courage. If we don't trust the promise of Hashem, then the nations of Canaan are scary nations. Ki chazak hu mimenu. They're bigger than us. They're stronger than us. We can't do it. Why not? Because we don't have trust. Says a pasuk in Tehillim, "Vaymasu be'eretz chemda." They despised, Chalila, the cherished land, v'lo ha'aminu bidvaroi, because they didn't trust Hashem. And even Moshe and Aaron, their downfall is in the same sin. In Mei Meriva, when Moshe Rabbeinu, instead of speaking to the rock, he strikes the rock, says the pasuk, "Yana shelo ha'emantem bi lakdisheni le'eni bnei Yisrael," because you didn't trust. You didn't have enough trust in me. Right? Emunah doesn't mean believing in God. It means believing God, having trust in Hashem. They didn't have the trust, again, on their level, of course, which we wouldn't be able to speak about had the Torah not told us. And that's why Moshe Rabbeinu, in Devarim, he says, "Gambi esanaf Hashem biglalchem." Why am I not entering the land, says Moshe? Because of you. Even though it was a separate sin, it wasn't the sin of the spies, it was the sin of striking the rock. But it's the same idea. It's the idea of not having a complete trust in Hashem. And the downfall of the people in the sin of the spies was also the downfall of Moshe and Aaron. What happened at the end of Bamidbar? The answer is, at the end of Bamidbar, we overcome this lack of trust. We fight the wars of Hashem against Sichon, against Og, against Midian. We're ready to enter the land, to conquer these great and powerful nations because we have trust. It took us 40 years, but we built this trust and we're ready. We're ready to fulfill the divine will, the divine instruction to conquer the land on behalf of the great values and the great embodiment of this kingdom of Hashem, which is to be established upon the land. And it's the same thing for today. True, we're not coming out of a literal wilderness, but in the words of the pasuk, we're coming out of Midbar Ha'amim, the wilderness of the nations. Being outside our own habitat, being outside our land, is being in the wilderness. Today, we're coming out of the wilderness, and like a generation perished in Sefer Bamidbar, a generation perished in the unspeakable horrors of the Holocaust, of the Shoah. And we came out of the wilderness of the nation, and Hashem brought us back into our own promised land. And it's up to us to have one thing: trust. The one demand that Hashem has upon us is not to fall into the trap of the Chet HaMeraglim, not to fall into the sin of the spies of not having trust in Hashem. We need to have trust in Hashem, and that trust gives us the strength, the courage, the fortitude to fulfill His word. It gives us the strength to finish the labor of conquest, of fighting the wars of good against evil, which we're doing now with great courage and great strength because we have trust. And if there's one thing that this time period of Bein HaMetzarim, this time of mourning for everything that we still don't have, and there's so much that we still don't have, this time of mourning calls us to one thing beyond anything else. And that's having trust in Hashem. That's rectifying the Chet HaMeraglim. If we'll only strengthen ourselves and our surroundings in that trust in Hashem, then we will surely be able to move forwards together with Hashem's supervision upon us in our homeland to fulfill the great and eternal hopes of the Jewish people for all generations, to establish everything that we're here to establish, to set up a society of chesed, of tzedakah, of mishpat, of righteousness, of justice, of unity, and to see in the ultimate destiny of the Jewish people. We should be zeicher, we should merit to see this speedily and in our days, and we should all have a beautiful Shabbos.